Oh, guys, good, you're here. I am so excited. Guess what? I hope this isn't about your podcast again. Why, did you finally listen to it?
You're listening to BYOTP Radio. Coming up next, the Groomer Next Door. The Groomer Next Door podcast.
Hello, Pups and Kittens, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of The Groomer Next Door. I'm your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me, as always, is the busy Sarah.
Hello.
And coming out of the little control area is Claire.
Hello.
Well, we have a very, very, very interesting episode lined up for you. Coming up in just a moment on the Groomer Next Door stage, JOE MEYERS will be joining us. He is going to be telling us all about PetChatz. It is an amazing piece of tech that I'm pretty much thinking anybody should have. And I mean, I'm not just talking about pet parents. I mean, I'm talking about boarding facilities. I'm talking about daycares. I'm talking about everybody. This is a product that literally will change your mind about everything. So, with that, let's dive into our fact of the week. Dogs have a wet nose to collect more of the tiny droplets of smelling chemicals in the air. And that's our fact of the week.
I did not know that. I knew there was a reason why it was wet, but I didn't realize it was that technical.
Right? Yeah. Think about some scientist that was really doing all this, picking up every piece of information. I mean, whoever came up with that, man, thank you. We're going to actually skip through the weekly roundup this week because, as I said, we have Joe coming out, and we really just want to give him as much time on this podcast as possible. Pretty much very simple. Nothing really has changed. Bagheera did go in this week for a vet appointment. We gave him medicine, but unfortunately, it has not cleared up his loose stool. So stay up on that with us. Post more if things come up during the week when we actually do, weekly things on the Facebook page at the Groomer Next Door
You're
podcast.
Doing very well.
I'm tired. It's been a very, very busy day already. So with that and everything, JOE MEYERS is about to come up, and I think we should all just sit back and enjoy what he has to say.
Oh, hello. Hold on a sec. Dad, we have a guest on the podcast.
This week we are so fortunate. We have JOE MEYERS. He is the Director of Marketing for PetChatz. It is a great product for all of you who are away from your pets throughout the day, or if you actually travel and you want to see your pets and you want to talk to them, this is the great product for it. So Joe, thank you very much for making time for us, and let us know all about PetChatz.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. A big fan of everything you do here. PetChatz is the first of its kind greet and treat video phone to allow pet parents to interact with pets from anywhere. You can see, hear, speak to, give them a treat, even a comforting scent, so they know you're thinking about them wherever you are. And recently we rolled out a companion product where your dog or cat can actually contact you during the day via email with a little button that they press that you schedule the time for. So we love it, and we love to hear all the stories of dog moms and dog dads who really feel like they're never alone from their pet. They're never really away from their pet.
Which is awesome. And as I told you before we started, I mean, I've been as far as 8,000 miles away from mine at a time. And I'll tell you, the hardest thing is when you see them on screen, you just want to reach in and have some kind of interaction. Your product actually is able to, in a sense, give you that arm it doesn't matter where you are in the world, to be able to give your treats or give something that's comforting to your pet when you're gone. And then, I have a bunch of different things we're going to talk about, just like you were mentioning, the scents and the treats. So let's go back to the beginning. How did the PetChatz actually start? How did the idea all come together?
The idea actually was started by CEO Lisa Lavin, one of our investors, Brady Kroll, co-founder, and they were really thinking about this new connected world and how important dogs and cats are in people's lives today, and how, as human beings, we're always connected. We always have our cell phones in our pockets. We're always connected with each other, but we're kind of missing our furry friends along the way. So they really wanted to create this opportunity where you really feel like you're never truly away, where you can be there from anywhere. You can be 8,000 miles away, 8 minutes away, 8 hours away. Mm-hmm. And you can really contact your dog and give your dog the ability to know that you care for them and you're there. You'll be home shortly. And you can really keep track of them during the day. We have a lot of cases and a lot of PetChatz pack members, which we call them, who have dogs who recently had surgery. Mm-hmm. And they can't bring their dog to work, and they can't work from home, so they can check in on their dog and make sure their dog's not stuck, or that big cone doesn't get stuck behind the fridge, and they can be there at home if they need to, but really check on their fur baby. And that's exactly this next generation of pet owners, including myself, that considers a dog a part of the family. It's not a pet anymore. It's a part of the family.
Very true, and that is something that I'm noticing. It's one of those things. I've said this so many times. It's a tidal wave. West or East Coast has really embraced that, and as it's making its way to the Midwest, you're starting to see that wave, but it's yet to actually arrive. But it's coming. And people are addressing their actual pets as family, where it used to just be, that thing that's outside, which it still drives me nuts.
Me as well, yes.
We part of our whole outreach, I guess you would call it, is actually rescuing animals and helping animals that are in deplorable conditions. And we see it all the time where people will be, they'll leave their dog outside. It's 20 degrees, and because they're out in the country, they kind of get away with it in a sense. You don't understand why are you putting your dog outside? Shouldn't your dog be inside? Why do you treat it like something that's not even of life? But they do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a transition from having your animals be kind of working animals on a farm, to now they're domesticated, and they have become part of the family, and they have first names and last names and clothing, and this is all we're part of that next step and next generation of first connected home. Of course, everything will speak to everything in the future. The Jetsons comes to life, but then most importantly, the genuine human connection between myself and my dog. And we support that, and we love the stories, and people tell us about how they never feel closer to their dog now they do with PetChatz, or their coworkers having a bad day, and what's better than chatting with a dog to make your day better? It's a fun experience just to be involved with it, and we truly care about facilities that rescue dogs. That we're actually working with some facilities around the country to kind of improve the adoption rate, so people will be able to chat with the dog before they adopt them. Program we're rolling out. So that's kind of a fun experience. You actually experience your dog and then make them happier, and they come home and they're happier, and they already know and love PetChatz. So it's exciting to kind of change the world one dog and one technology at a time.
I like that idea. I really do. I mean, being able to see and interact with the dog before you actually adopt. You've seen the videos of these poor pups that are in any kind of shelter, and they're just almost depleted. They have no sense of anything. They feel like they've been abandoned, and some have. To be able to actually have somebody see them and interact with them, that has to give them such spirit. That's amazing. Now, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, you care about the dogs, and you don't. A lot of the facilities are good that take care, but then they don't have the the man hours to really give them the care that they need, and that's why they need to be adopted. But in the meantime, just seeing the dog on a PetChatz screen and being able to interact with it that way has been, we've seen some case studies where people have been like, wow, this dog's easier and easier now I get home. And, there's challenges when a dog is not adopted for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they feel neglected. So we want to help them not feel that way anymore.
That's amazing. That is really amazing. Was there a lot of debate regarding the screen for the device? Should it be black and white? Is the screen too bright, too dim? Was there any debate whether or not there was problems, complications? What was that like?
Certainly, yeah. The screen has been one of those things that we stand behind 100%. But it is certainly a conversation with new owners and people that are in the market for a dog camera. A lot of people have a false knowledge that dogs can't see the screen, which has been proven many times again that they can, because our TVs and the screen on the PetChatz device is such a high quality. The dogs can see, and cats can see the screen, can see movement, and we really wanted a fully interactive premium dog camera. You can get a security camera for $24 on Amazon, and you can put it in the corner of your house, and you can see your dog running around. But that's not how I interact with my dog. I don't know how you interact or other people do. When I'm with my dog, he's right in my face. I can see him. I can see his eyes. I can see him. He can see me. And so we really wanted to give credit to the dog and how we know how intelligent they are, how intelligent they are. All the studies that have been done to support that. So our approach was fully interactive and not just observing. We really wanted that when you can't be home during the day at work or you're on a business trip, that you don't ever feel like you left. We didn't want the security camera approach that the other ones on the marketplace is. You see your dog, and then there's no real interaction.
Right.
We have two-way audio and two-way video. We're still only ones in the market that even come close to that. And we stand behind it. We believe in how intelligent dogs are. And we kind of put our money where our mouth is and said, we know your dog can see this TV, and we know the experience will be richer if he can see your face. And for me, the only thing that can make my dog smile are my face and a treat. And we offer both.
Which is where I'm actually going to lead us into is, let's look inside the PetChatz. Let's start with the sound detector. I thought that was a really cool feature that it actually would, I'm guessing, activate or send out your phone a message.
Yeah, so it actually, you kind of set parameters. The whole system is very customizable, which we like. You can set when you chat with your dog, you can set if you get the alerts or not, so you don't have to get the alerts. A lot of people say that on social media, like, you don't have to get all the alerts that we send you. We just created this for you, so you can get them if you would like. So with the with the unit and with the sound detector, we really felt that we want to know when our dog is barking, when our dog is whimpering, when our dog is scared, when something's going on. It gives the owners the ability to give them a chat. They get the email. At this point, it's an email, very less intrusive than a notification on their phone. Get an email. Oh, dog's making some noises. Maybe we should give them a quick call. And then you call them, calm them down, give them a nutritious treat, and they can move on with their day. They're happy, you're happy. So we really wanted to give it this full interactive experience, so they know that they know you're there and they know that you care.
Which is nice, because you're probably going to have a lot of those issues where the dog is going to whimper during thunderstorms. So I would imagine that you guys took that into accountability, that, well, probably, you know what, if Midwest is great for thunderstorms.
For sure.
And so that, you know what, dogs tend to get really worried. So I would imagine that would actually come in handy right there.
Definitely. Yeah, Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely have seen that. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Now, there was something that I was kind of like, okay, well, what is a pet safe microphone?
So the reason that our kind of unit was designed as it is again, it's called that fully interactive experience. This is actually mounted at dog level, right in the face of the dog. So the pet safe microphone really talks about to ensure that it's enclosed, so the dog won't be able to get at it, and that it'll be secure. Some dogs, kind of grossly, they slobber, and they lick. So it's encased in the unit so that a dog can't inadvertently damage the microphone or kind of break the microphone. We really wanted to make sure that the design of it was pet safe, and then when it was engineered, not to get too technical, but dogs have a different frequency than we do in their bark. And there's a difference between a door closing and a dog barking. And we have done extensive research and innovation into being able to pick up those dog sounds so we can really hear the dog. So first is on the design, because this unit, the PetChatz HD, will actually be at the dog's level. We wanted to make sure that the actual microphone was safe, that it was contained, that it was secure. And then the other part of it, we wanted to design it so it could pick up dog sounds, particularly because we know who you'll be chatting with when you purchase a PetChatz.
Which is again, I'm a big fan of anything tech, but I love pet tech, so I'm always really engaged in conversations that have to do with this, because you really thought about it. I'm personally one of those people. I love dogs that slobber all the time. But maybe that's just my perspective. I see tons of dogs per week, so I like them. I think it's great, but that was really smart to actually think that one through. And of course, we all know that dogs, some will get bored, and you pretty much have thought that out. That, well, if they see it, they might pull at it, they might chew at it, they get it out. That whole device would be completely gone. So that was really smart.
Yeah, that's kind of one thing, is that our unit's designed with pet safety is kind of number one priority. Fully contained pet design. There's no corners, as you can see on the unit. If you have it in front of you, if you pull it up on the internet at PetChatz.com, there's no corners. The dog can't kind of grab at it. There's no edges. And most importantly, and the thing that really, we have some competitors in this space, and we're very honest and open with them. These competitors have these cords, and they're just out there. This is a unit that's plugged into the wall. It has electricity flowing through it, and there's an electrical cord right there. And as soon as the dog knows that this unit contains treats, I don't know about your dog or anybody else that's listening's dog, but they become very curious.
Yes.
And they might think the treats contained within that cord that's connected to it. And they'll jump up on the couch to get on the TV to get it. And I'm confused when I see some of these other products out there that just have the cord exposed. And as soon as this dog knows that treats come from this, it would take my dog about a minute and a half to try to explore and get a treat out of any part of the unit that it can, including the cord, unfortunately. So we really care about the pet as the number one priority in safety, while not really giving up the interactive experience. The dog is right in your face when you're with PetChatz. It is we're not a security camera that you mount to the wall. We are a fully interactive, two-way communication premium device where you don't feel like you left your dog. You just feel like your dog is on the other side of your phone.
Which, again, for somebody who has Skyped and who has used FaceTime, that is a moment that you really do appreciate. And that's one thing. Now, you say it's not really a security device, but it does kind of double as one if you think about it. When I was looking through and, looking through all of the product, I go, motion detector. You know what? That actually can work in your favor though, because if you have it at a certain spot, say it's right by the door that leads into your laundry room / garage. If there's a motion there and your dog's not in that room, you can see it on your camera, and that's a person that's not supposed to be there. That's a real benefit.
Definitely, yeah. That was a kind of a happy accident in the design. It was designed first and foremost for the pet experience. But when you design things well, those good moments sort of happen by happy accident. So when we realized it, I think one of our PetChatz pack members told us that she had her son was home and he wasn't supposed to be, and she kind of caught him on the PetChatz camera. Well, one of my favorite stories is this mom and dad, kind of empty nesters, bought the PetChatz for their dog, and their son was home for college. And the parents were out for the night, and they were going to be gone for a couple of days. And the parents PetChatz their dog. In the background, they heard a party going on.
Oh no!
Their son, who was home from college, he was partying. And he, as all college kids do, thought he'd clean it up in time for mom and dad. But he was kind of caught. The PetChatz device, because our furry friends don't have phones and can't pick up cell phones, the device actually auto answers. So as soon as you call it, the device answers. So the dog doesn't have to do anything to answer the device. Obviously, that would be a very challenging situation, but it's a perfect way that you always have a direct connection into your home. So you can either check in on your furry baby, or you can check in on your college kid who just threw a party, and they would have no idea, and there's no way for them to stop it. And the connection in the home is completely secure and safe on the highest standards. So you always have this way to check in on your home, no matter where in the world you are.
See, that's hysterical. Then I think about it. I look at people that actually have pet sitters. This gives peace of mind as well. By, again, that monitor, you can just turn it on. Or if you hear that whimpering, back to, the actual detector, the sound detector, you can, find out, well, is something wrong? And that is a real cool feature because, we live in a day and age, first we had nanny cams and now we technically have puppy cams. And that actually helps. It gives peace of mind to everybody. So I like that.
And the biggest, I think, kind of our biggest use case is today, besides, I think our biggest one is people going on vacation, and they leave their dog for a couple of days with a friend, and they want to connect. Maybe their friend will come over for 20 minutes to fill their water and give them some food, but that's not real, genuine connection. So besides vacation, we actually have a lot of people who use doggy daycare. So they'll bring their dog to daycare 1 or 2 days a week to get them out of the house. To get them some socialization, but the rest of the week they use PetChatz, and they use the paw call device, which is a companion device that allows the dog to call you, and then they stream videos, and they are chatting with them, and they're calling them a couple times a day, on a lunch break, to get some water at the cooler, they'll call them. And they really feel like their dog is as tired after a day at the kennel than they are a day at PetChatz. Because just like humans, I know it's kind of crazy, but just like humans, if you have an 8-hour day in the office and you're thinking all day, then we all come home and we're just tired. That's the same thing with PetChatz, is we stimulate these dogs with the video, with the paw call, with the treats. And in a couple of a short while now, we'll have another way to stimulate them. I'll get into later.
I was gonna trust me. I have that question coming.
I know you do. But the dog really feels like it had a complete and full day, and it really feels like kind of mentally drained. And the dog, that's what the dog needs. And same way I could run for an hour or work at the office for 8. And I feel just as tired. I'm like, I need to relax. Your dog is the same way. Mental stimulation is as tiring for dogs as physical stimulation is.
I hate to say this, but after work, I'll have some downtime where I'll be doing this. And then there are times where I have to create stuff for the podcast, and I will spend my entire night doing it. I mean, it almost becomes really, you probably, people would say, there's something wrong with you. But I feel like that mentality sometimes of a dog where I have to mentally just drain my brain. It's weird. It's weird how it works. Well,
yeah, a lot of dog owners think like just physical stimulation. But dogs are very similar to us, is that if you do mental stimulation, which the paw call and PetChatz has proven to be, they would get as tired as physical stimulation. And, they had a long day just like you did. And it's exciting. It's exciting for them. It's exciting for people to see that the first time they'll come home and have a couple of chats and a couple of paw calls, and their dog, who's usually running up and down the walls, is hanging out on the couch with them, because they just really felt like they connected all day, and they had stimulation all day. It's just a little different.
Which is so cool. And now I'm going to definitely get to the paw call. That is definitely on my list of things I'm curious about. But I'm where I'm going still is now I want to move into the actual unique features, because you've already touched on it. There's obviously the camera. There's a solid microphone. But, you added in the one thing that every dog, and really a lot of humans, including myself, is drawn to, and that's treats. So, I love the treat release. Let's go with that. Does it actually, because I know that your actual website has specific treats, does it only accept the treats that you guys have, or can it handle any kind of treats? Because there's a lot of people who like to make their own stuff because they know what's in it. And obviously, when in a day and age that we have such questions, so to speak, on some of our top pet products out there, and concerns on what they put in them, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Is your treats, are they specific? Is the actual device itself only compatible with your treats? Kind of elaborate on that whole collage of questions.
Certainly, yeah. No, that's a good question. We have a lot of owners and dog owners that kind of really talk to us about that. And so I'll answer it in two parts. Is we have worked tirelessly, and the CEO of the company has been in the pet industry for 20 plus years. She knows everything about it. So she has, one of the highest standards of treats. I think we had many manufacturers that wanted to be a PetChatz treat. We worked with several of them. We given it to our own dogs. We've done studies. They're good treats. They contain no grain, no corn, no wheat, no soy, no added fat, no byproducts, no artificial flavors, no color. They're grain-free, natural. And they're good for dogs and cats, and made with a single source of protein. So they're really, really good treats, high quality and priced appropriately. In line with any major national treats. But I know there are people that do make their own, or people are very brand loyal to their own treats. So to answer the question, the PetChatz unit was designed specifically for the treats that we manufacture. Our kind of patented release system was designed with the density and the size and the composition of our treats. Okay. So for the ideal experience, we recommend people use our treats, just because that's how it was designed. You wouldn't, you ever bought an Apple charger cord that's not like legitimate, and it doesn't work? Yes. And you get upset. You don't blame Apple, because you know that Apple has said very clearly that we've designed this to work ideally. And so that's what we have done. We've designed the PetChatz treats to be the best experience for you and your pets, every time in any way. But we also understand that that people have their own preferences, that people make their own treats, that people have been using treats for 20 years and they're not giving up now. So we also understand that as well. So the official language on our website is that if you use the PetChatz treats, all is well, and the warranty will hold up. We have a 1-year warranty on our product. And if you use other treats, handmade or the like, and there's some problem with their product, then we'll have a conversation about that at the time. But kind of reserve the right to say, hey, you misused this product. Yeah, I have several PetChatz pack members who've owned it for a year or so, and they've used their own treat the entire time. And we kind of take that risk and say, hey, I love this treat, here you go. But for us, the only way for us to guarantee a premium outcome was to control all the variables. Similar to an Apple product. Is Apple controls all the variables. They don't allow apps in their Apple App Store that aren't approved by Apple. They don't allow technology to plug into their device that's not approved by Apple. So that's kind of where we're at today. We are looking into having approved PetChatz treats in the marketplace that we've approved, that we've gone through the rigorous testing. But that's really why we do it, is we want to ensure the best experience for the owner. And we feel confident with that. But again, that should never be for anybody a barrier to purchase PetChatz. It should really be an opportunity to And the one thing we actually don't include on our site, which we should include, is that all of our PetChatz units come with a free sample of our treats. With a full bag of treats. So there's 50 or so treats in there. And you can test it out, and you can try it yourself. And you can have your dog try it and your cat try it and see what they think. We challenge you to see what they would think. And if they love them, then continue to use them. And if you have something they really love, then our customer care team will work with you if an issue does arise, which is very rare. But again, it's, when you purchase an Apple quality product, a product like PetChatz, we want the best experience for you. So we've really found the best experience. But it certainly not a reason you should not buy. And if you have any questions about that, anybody else, you can always email myself or the customer care team, support@and info@petchatz.com, and we can answer those questions individually.
And I'll put that in our show notes. Which, honestly, as long as you're wheat, corn, soy, gluten, all these, terrible things that are advertised, and, obviously... That's what drives me nuts, is that they're advertised on the actual cover. That should, put to bed any kind of concerns. But that did, drop that question. You kind of touched on it, because obviously tons of products that you buy, the accessories now, especially if it's food-based, are sold in stores. So I was a little surprised that, you guys have not been able to get into a retailer, like a big box store, because that's typically where you would see it. And those refillable accessories are needed.
Certainly, yeah, and so we understand that completely. So we do have a subscription program that helps out with that. Yeah, it's actually not highly publicized. We're in the process of revamping it. So it would actually be a subscription program, and you get kind of a box from PetChatz every 3 months that has everything you'd need for those next 3 months. So a 3-month supply of treats, the scent pads, some partner gifts from our various partners around the world who love PetChatz. And then also some other PetChatz goodies as well. So then they can sign up for that, have their PetChatz treats available every 3 months, and then they get another box. And then that's billed on a quarterly basis, and it's about 20% off of our pricing for everything. And it's kind of one-stop shop, and competitively we've priced it out, and we're as expensive or cheaper than any treat on the market with the subscription. So we want to stay direct to the consumer as much as possible, so we can have direct contact first of all, and that we want to make sure that we keep our costs reasonable. Obviously, when you deal with a retailer, there's other costs associated with it. And people love PetChatz, and we want to make sure that we're available for them.
Well, controlling your customer review is probably your benefit right there, because when you think about it, when there are, I'm contradicting myself in some sense, because I'm saying, well, they should be in stores, but, not knowing about the subscription program controls your customer base. Now 100% of what's going on. And instead of, if it's in a store and somebody takes it back, you're not going to hear from customer service from a big box store, hey, this was returned for XYZ. This way you're able to actually know why it was returned or what the problem was, and that would actually almost stomp out any problem. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And we direct contact to making sure we're always making updates. One of the fun things about our company is that, similar to Tesla, we make product updates about on a weekly basis. So it's pretty non-intrusive, but updates to the software, updates to the technology, so people know it's being improved. That if something's happening, we're making sure we improve it, and better sound quality, better video quality. So we're always updating and always including that updates completely free of charge, obviously, to our owners. But that's why we really want to have direct contact with them. If this was sold in some retail shop, you go from the retail shop, you never contact us. We don't know how to make it better for you, and we really listen to customers, and they tell us. Half the designs on the thing came directly from customers who said, hey, I really want this. And I think the call, if I remember, actually came from a customer who was like, how cool would it be if my dog could contact me? And we're like, you're right. It will be really cool. We'll make it.
That is kind of the whole controlling your customer base. What makes it so nice is that you do get that almost one-on-one opportunity to discuss the product and almost, in a sense, revamp the product, or even recreate something or create something out of nothing that you never thought about. So that is cool. Now, to follow on the same base of, we talked about the treats, but now here was something I was, in a sense, not particularly prepared for, and that was the scent. And I just was like, that is pretty cool. I'm always interested in this whole idea of the scents and how they're calming. I've heard different things. They work, they don't work, but more or less I've heard the positive side. How did that process come about, and let us know more about that?
Certainly. So the scents were really, we worked with a dog behavioralist in the development of the product, and she was a huge advocate of kind of dog scents, and the full immersion experience is that, again, kind of going back to that, is that we're fully immersive, is that you see and hear, and you give the treat, and now the scent part. And so we've read many studies at the time that for dogs who are anxious, and dogs who are worried, and dogs who are nervous, and dogs who are really feeling anxiety, actually have increased cortisol levels. It's the same thing when you're stressed at work. You have cortisol running through your body that makes you kind of stressed out. And the best way to reduce that cortisol level was the scents, and specially designed aromatherapy scents that are there. And what it also does for dogs is that it gives a sensation that you're in the room with them, that you calm them. So during our training process, very simple. You kind of sit next to the PetChatz unit and you call it on your phone or on your laptop, and the dog smells the calming scent, hears your voice, and gets a treat, and they really feel like you're next to them. It's as close to you being in the room with them as possible. So that's really where that came from, is that this is a fully immersive experience. And there are other products on the marketplace that just do the scents. And we wanted to be, and we are, the premium in this space. So of course we needed to include scents in our product.
That must have been a grueling process to go through, not only the idea of different scents, but also the process of finding the right product, the right company. It must have been difficult to go through.
Certainly, yeah. I was not here at the time when they did it through it, but I've heard stories of it. Getting the right scent that work with all dogs and all cats. Of course, we serve both. And the essential oil drops that we use, especially formulated actually just for PetChatz. so you can't get it anywhere else. But again, that's another one of those things where we've designed it to be the common comfort. And if your pet has their own experience, then we implore you to test that out and test ours out. And again, in the PetChatz unit, when you purchase it, you actually get a sample of the PetChatz scent. It lasts about a month and a half if used properly, and you can really test it out. And as we all know, when we've made something in our home, our dog's sense of smell is one of its best attributes. Mm-hmm. So to ignore that, for us, just seemed, it'd be like ignoring our eyes if we're making a product for humans. Wait, this product doesn't smell good? This product doesn't look good? People are going to look at it. Well, that's not important. Well, yes, it is. It's the scents that are dog's most important sense for pets. When they're in the wild and at home, if you ignore that, you're really ignoring what makes your dog special.
Right. And, it all makes sense. It really does. It's just something that you personally you don't think, I never thought about my dog needing this. But then you think about it, and, again, going back to, your dog's whimpering, and, you hear it, and there's a thunderstorm. Of course, it would make sense. You spray the calming, and, there it is. It should be okay. So,
yeah, my favorite example is when we have a tree fall behind our trash can.
Oh.
And my dog will forget about it for a day. And then he'll smell it from across the room and go over there. And I'm like, I can't smell anything. It's like, if that's so big for him, just a tiny little treat, how much is this calming scent gonna help him out and calm him down? So it's fun that once you start listening and observing your dog, you'll know that the things are, scent is really important. My dog smells when I'm with another dog. Don't you think scent's important to them?
Yeah, when we come home smelling like multiple dogs. I mean, we must be a buffet for our dogs. I always say, luckily our dogs aren't jealous, but they always want to come over and say hi. So it's obvious because we have the smell of all these dogs on us. Well, let's move on to the one thing that really was cool, and we've talked about it a couple times, and that's the paw call. Now, you had mentioned that was actually suggested by a customer, which is such a cool concept that a customer would say, hey, XYZ would be a cool idea. But go into more detail, because this has been something I'm like, I want to talk about the paw call, but I wanted to leave it for a little bit longer into this whole thing, and now we're there. So let me know all about the paw call.
Certainly, yeah. So the device has been out for about a year now. Compatible with our PetChatz HD. Made some technology upgrades and kind of allowed this to occur. And fun fact, it was actually one of the best at CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show last year. One of the best innovative products from that show. So we're excited to kind of spend, CES happened in January. So kind of a fun innovation, and it actually allows your dog on a schedule. A lot of people on social media get on us for that. My dog will call me all day. No, you can schedule it. It actually allows your dog to contact you. So the paw call is put next to the unit, connects via Bluetooth, and you schedule it. So mine always goes off at 4 o'clock because I usually have stuff to do after work, and I want to talk to my dog right before I'm about to leave, and then I'll see him in an hour or so after that. So at 4 o'clock, the paw call unit lights up. There's this bright light in there, and the unit rings, and the light will flash, and the dog puts their paw actually on the unit. This is not a parlor trick. The actual dog has to hit the unit, and then that will initiate an email to you as the owner. And then from the email, you click on a button, and you're chatting. You can chat on your desktop or iOS or Android device, doesn't matter. Click a button, your paw call app launches, your PetChatz app launches, and you're chatting with your dog. Your dog is right there. And the training process for this, my dog got it in a couple of minutes. You do training mode, you light up the unit, and the dog hits the button, you give him a treat, hits the button, you give him a treat, hits the button, he gets a treat. and he's trained. And the stories on this, I can tell you for days. They're so much fun.
That is cool. That is cool, though. I mean, I saw that and I was like, that is one of those things. Now, you always say email. Now, it's funny. I used to think that email was almost becoming obsolete because we have text messaging. But, as time is going on, I use more email now, and I'm going, okay, I really need it. But do you get a lot of people saying, can you convert it to either text or email or both? Or do you really just say, it's going to stay email, we're not going to go SMS, and that's where we're at this moment?
Certainly, yeah. So our next hopeful innovation, and of course, things change in the future, would be an actual push notification. So directly from, similar you get when somebody likes a post on Facebook, and you get, John has liked a post on Facebook, and it's a little notification, a little push notification from the app. So that's how that's our preferred method, and we're trying to roll that out here in the next couple of months. But because it's just more of a notification, we feel like that would be the best way to go. But a lot of professionals, including myself, and a lot of our PetChatz pack members, are in their email all day long. They're in their email in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. They're checking the email all the time, especially if it's their business email or their personal one. They're in all the time. So that's the current is the email, and probably the next iteration of that will be a push notification.
Well, I think I must have just jumped ahead then, because that was going to be one of my questions on future innovations that are coming out. So, but there might be something else. So I will actually go with my next thing, which studying your website was actually a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of fun. It was something that I sat down and I'm writing my notes, getting prepared for this, and I was like, oh wow, this is cool. And then I was looking over and it said chatting with your pet has many features, and one was the record and share. Now with that, the whole thing is okay, the recording's cool, and I love the fact that you're able to actually capture that moment. Now, on the sharing, is that a social media where you can post to social media, or is it something that will actually go into a cloud base, or is it just something that goes into email? How does the actual share process happen?
So the share process, very simple. Similar if you take a photo or a video on your cell phone. So you hit the record on the PetChatz app, you open up, you start chatting with your pet. They start doing something adorable, as a lot of them do a lot of the time. You hit the record button on the app, and you can see screenshots of this at PetChatz.com. And you record them, and then that video is saved directly onto your hard drive. So from there, you can send that off to your friend. You can add that to your Instagram, add it to Twitter, add it to Facebook, and then it's on your hard drive. From now into Affinity, now until forever, we save, kind of just so you have a backup, we save 3 of them for you, with no charge, of course, for that. And then you would be able to send as many as you want on any social network. A lot of them friends send it to their friends and family. They send it on Snapchat to their buddies. They post videos on YouTube of them chatting with their pet, and some fun antics that happen because of that. But it's, again, sort of a recording device that you have. You record it on your phone. It's saved on your phone, and then you can upload it just as you would to any other social network.
That's brilliant. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do we use our phone? I mean, if you looked at my phone, it has countless hours probably of pet. Either it has my daughter or our dog or some dog that we rescued on there. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times I cleaned my phone off of all of the videos and stuff. So that's really cool that it actually would be in it. That kind of forever moment, and especially like you said, capturing those sweet moments that they do something cute. It's priceless. It is completely priceless.
For sure. Yeah, you really feel like you're never really gone from those moments. Too. Yeah. That's what a lot of PetChatz owners say. It's like, something cute happened, and I was at work, and I still captured it, and that's a good thing as well.
I would think that it would, we just released a video, one of our little short movies on YouTube, and it was called Progressions of a Great Dane. And what it was is I filmed all last year. Every time this one little Great Dane would come in, it would grow as the camera would see it. And the owner was like, I don't remember my dog ever being that small when it could actually lay in bed with me. Now it takes up the entire bed, as a Great Dane would. But, that capturing of that moment has to be amazing. And then, you have another feature to it, and I don't know if you guys even thought about this, but by capturing that record, if anything, was to happen to your dog, say, gets out, runs, around and, gets lost, you have that instant moment where you have a video stored on your phone, and that has to help. It pays dividends right there alone.
Definitely, yeah. So to know that you always have kind of up-to-date record. Yeah. And I know a lot of pet parents, always take photos of their dog, for either their own Instagram account or what have it. But again, it's good to have that record of who your dog is, and that personality, and kind of a way to connect with them, and to know that you're always there.
That is cool. Now, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to get the answer I think I'm going to get, but I'm going to ask it. So, in our final moments, we were kind of alluding to new features, new content that will be coming out with PetChatz. Besides the SMS or the actual possible text, is there anything else that we can look forward to seeing PetChatz releasing in the next few months?
You actually can. We have a big one to share. We released knowledge that we were going to do this, but we're kind of in the final stages of really putting it to practice. There is a streaming service called Dog TV. And this is actual television, for those people who do not know, actual television programming, specially designed for dogs. The imagery, the sounds, scientifically designed, some of the top people in the industry. And we are actually going to be able to stream Dog TV on PetChatz.
Very nice.
So you will actually be able to create, again, another fully immersive experience on the PetChatz device, and be able to stream this Dog TV content. I implore everyone to look at Dog TV and their content. It is incredible. It has been designed by the best dog therapists and dog studiers on the world on their content. And you'll be able to stream the Dog TV content directly onto your PetChat. And with this new innovation, we're hoping that more dog owners will use PetChat as a supplement to taking their dog to doggy daycare. We call it kind of PetChatz daycare, where you'd be able to, have some Dog TV in the morning for your dog, and then have a chat with them in the afternoon, do some paw call, maybe some more Dog TV, another paw call session, and you could really be away from them for 8-9 hours. But your dog has all this stimulation, and you're always there, kind of a supplement to their daycare experience, at a fraction of the cost. I know some daycares are, $30-$40 a day, depending on where you live. Maybe in the Midwest, it's less. Actually, no, in the Midwest, we were in Minnesota, actually, based, and it's $35-$40 a day.
Well, right here, we don't have a lot of that. I mean, if you're in Kansas City or St. Louis, maybe, but I don't know of a lot of other spots that do. Surprising.
Yeah, the major in Minneapolis, we're in the major metro, and in our city alone, I think there's 8 doggy daycare facilities that have dogs there full time during the day, 8-9 hours, and overnight as well. But with Dog TV, you'd really be able to give your dog this full day of interactivity when you're not able to be there, from your cell phone and from the automatic programming.
That is a really cool process that, honestly, I mean, kudos to you for really, coming up with that. Now, is it activated through your actual device, whether it's a tablet or phone or laptop? Is that how you actually activate it, or is it activated by the device itself?
So we actually, 2 ways of doing it. It's not fully rolled out yet, so
Yeah, I know. I'm asking questions.
Actually, we're certainly still in development. So our ideal state would be that you would be able to schedule dog TV, so you don't have it on the whole day, of course, and you'd be able to activate it on your phone. So if you want it, you can schedule it from the app from 10 to 11, and then if you maybe you just had a chat with your dog and your dog seems bored, you can turn it on using your app from 1 to 2. So both and. The goal would be to actually have you be able to schedule it, and for you to be able to turn it on command.
I like that. See, this is when I really become an absolute nerd and geek out over things like that, because that's such a cool concept. And I don't know about in Minneapolis, but I actually don't know of a lot of facilities in Missouri that actually have monitors in their actual, whether it's a boarding or daycare facility. I think I can only think of one right now, and that's St. Louis. So that's a cool concept, because you really want to take your dog to a daycare where they sit in a kennel that, in a sense, it looks kind of shelter, like a regular animal shelter. Do you really want that for your pet? I mean, is that really a daycare? I mean, in my mind, it gives that maybe I read too much into it, but it gives the dog this sense that they're, being punished in a sense. And so, the whole idea that you can activate the little screen on there and they can see it. I like it. I liked it a lot. So for that reason, I'm in. Just for that.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's what happens is a lot of people take their dog to daycare, hoping that they have this fully interactive experience, and that's not what happens.
Yeah.
So that's why we're really bringing it inside the home as a supplement, where you can really, oh wow, this is really cool. This is a really cool way for you to share this with your dog.
Something tells me you're not going to stop at dog TV, even though I love their stuff, but I can definitely see other streaming services as being possible. So that is cool. That is a real cool thing. I didn't know about that, so thank you for sharing that. That's really cool.
Sure. Yeah. We're excited to really roll that out. You'll hear more in the next couple of weeks if you follow us on social media. We're PetChatz anywhere you go, on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, or even YouTube as well. So we'll tell more of the story on there when it's live. But I would say about a month until it's actually live on the unit. So get your PetChatz unit today, and by the time you're ready for something new, we'll be ready for you.
And what's great is that it'll be about 2 weeks from the release date of this actual episode, which I'll get into that in a little bit. So it's kind of funny.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's perfect timing. Yeah, when it's live. Yeah, so we'll say mid-February.
There you go. Yeah, good to go. This should release at the end of January, so that's kind of cool.
Wonderful. Awesome.
So lastly, and I'm sorry to actually, we're almost out of time. It's always the hard part. I always feel bad when this time comes. I say it all the time. I love having good conversations. It's part of my enjoyment. So, let everybody know where they can actually get their very own PetChatz, and because I know that on your website, I don't know if big box stores have it, so I wasn't sure about that. So I didn't want to give any kind of wrong information. So let everybody know where they can actually get their very own.
Certainly. So the best place on the web to purchase PetChatz is PetChatz.com. So PetChatz.com. So we have everything there. You'll get the full PetChatz unit, a bag of treats, a sample of the scent, everything you need to mount it. And we also have some other accessories as well for those who need it. So I would say the best place is PetChatz.com.
That is awesome. And you do have kind of a cool variety of ways of actually getting them. You have bundle packs, which I was looking at the bundle pack. I was like, now that's the way to go. See, I always buy everything in bundles because I end up saving money that way. So I'll do a bundle pack. And I was looking at the bundle pack. I'm like, now that's how you do it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the best way. So the bundle comes with the PetChatz HD and the Paw Call, and you can receive 20% off all the other products that you would need. So the treats, we have 3 month supply of those, the PetChatz scent, the scent pads, We do have some people that buy our PetChatz stand. It's an optional accessory. So this is if you're on the road with PetChatz, or if there's no place in your home to mount it. The PetChatz stand will be kind of on its own unit. So you kind of put it on the PetChatz stand and then it stands up on its own. So that's another option for people. But majority of the PetChatz owners just mount it right to the wall, very pet safe, and then have that fully interactive experience.
Completely cool, man. I mean, it really is. Well, thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Joe, for stopping in and, making some time for us. I really did appreciate you and all of your great information.
It was just jam-packed of so much. I had to keep a list of all the pros to this product. There's some products that are out there that are nice to have and, it'd be kind of cool to own.
Novelty.
Or, we'll try that. This is different. This is a way of life. This isn't just a fly-by-night, we'll try it. We'll try that little machine that puts a ball in and throws it. No. This is a way of life. This is a way of people breaking through that barrier of dog being an animal and not family. You wouldn't leave your kids home alone. This doesn't really leave your dog home alone. You can interact, and once the dog gets used to that, that thing being there,
The tech, yeah.
and what it can do, and the treats, and they went with the grain-free treat for that too. I think that was wonderful.
Yeah, great choice.
Great choice, because even if when you get home you feed your dog one type of treat, and during the day you feed the dog this type of treat, it's not going to cause so much of an issue with their stomach, because it is just a single source meat treat. And so if the dog has an allergic reaction to a particular meat, you can stay away from it because it's single source, meaning that they use the meat, the fat, whatever it is just from that one particular animal. So it's not going to conflict with the food that you feed or the other treats that you might just hand out throughout the day. Win-win.
Win-win, right? And, one thing that was really cool, I didn't know he was going to tell us that they were, going to release that update. The update is such a cool feature that you can activate on the device. I just was like, oh my gosh, your dog can watch TV. And it's such a good channel that I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I'm all in on it. This one, I actually was 5 out of 5 for me.
They were smart enough to sit there and look at this tech.
Yeah.
And think, how can we make this dog proof?
Right.
Because dogs chew on everything.
Right. That got my attention too.
He goes, there's no corners.
Right.
Oh my goodness, no corners.
And it's funny because I record these without Sarah around, and then I'm talking to her about it, and
you're like, listen to it.
Well,
I want to talk about it. Listen to it.
I can't have her listen until day before we actually come here and do this.
Because I got a bad memory and I forget so much.
And that's not a big deal, but it's like we have different guests that have already come in, and I'm just going, oh my gosh.
That's
and this one, for me, it's like I have all this. It's almost like I know future episodes and how they're gonna go. Think about if you knew how The Walking Dead was gonna go, but you couldn't say anything.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it feels for me. But I came back home when I recorded with Joe, and I just was like, this is so cool.
And it's well worth every dime.
Every dime
is worth it, because it's like you buy your kid a phone, you buy your kid a $400 phone so they can stay in contact.
At least $400.
Yes, right, because there are some $800-900 phones.
Look at the iPhones.
Right, you buy your kid that phone that they're just going to replace in 2 years, or if not, drop and ruin it before then.
Or you could be like me, who drops his iPad,
right,
cracks the screen. Good job, Chris.
And then you're like, okay, well, we'll put a screen on there so people can see their dog and the dog can see them. And it squashes the whole outlook that dogs can't see screens. And they smash that out the door. No, they can. They can see it. Our cats can see it. Our cats get on top of the TV or on top of the entertainment center watching the TV with us.
Look at we've had those videos on Facebook where Double or Toil, I can't remember.
Holy cow.
Yeah, baseball, Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, they sit there and follow the wheel.
A wheel of kitty cat.
So
It's a great device.
Thank you.
It's a great device. Joe, you did a great job. It was really a lot of fun to be able to talk to him, and seeing the passion for the product and for animals, that says it all for me. It really does. Anything else you wanted to add on that?
I can talk about this probably for a very long period of time.
But the only thing is, we've already gone over the hour marker, and I don't want to, upset you guys and, push you guys too far. And plus,
the star of the show.
Right, and it was Joe,
interview.
right? And one thing that we wanted to, we're recording a show, folks. Come on.
Don't you see that
Don't
on-air
you
sign?
I know, right? One thing that I want to take away, and I want all of you to take away from it, is think of your mind has now been expanded and, in a sense, exercised. Just like Joe was talking about with the dog. We're exercising minds. We just exercise the mind.
That was another thing I wanted to talk about.
And see, that's why I said it, and we'll continue going.
There we go. Right. You have a hyperactive dog. You don't know why. The dog ends up in a pound or a shelter because the dog's too rambunctious for people to control. So that's one of the number one reasons why the dogs end up at the shelter.
Right.
Too much for what they need. So if you're not going to do your research on what breeds best for you, well, okay, you got yourself a Jack Russell. You didn't realize that it is constant energy.
Mm-hmm. Shepherds.
Well, Jack Russells are insane.
Oh yes, that is.
They're just holy moly. So, okay, well, tire the dog out. Tire him out mentally too.
Well, how do we do that?
Buy one of these suckers, put it on the wall, let it
Put a
have some
PetChatz
fun.
in. There you go.
There
Simple.
we go.
Simple and easy. And what I love is that we're gone for work 8, 9. Well, at work 8 hours. You can drive to work for an hour, depending on where you're at. I mean, look, if you drive in Los Angeles, if you work 15 minutes away, you got an hour drive.
Yeah, right.
Easily an hour drive. So, people are commuting. You're driving, you stop for lunch, or if you're at the office, you stop for lunch, work time, and you pull up your phone, and there you go, you can talk to your dog. What if you're having a really stressful day? Well, you simply pull up the phone and talk to your dog. I love the paw call. I love that.
That's cool, especially once they realize what it is.
And there's an actual way, there's a setup, and there's some kind of training to it. I think that's pretty cool.
You can't just expect it to be put up and think that your dog's going to know what to do right away.
Well, Joe said it took his dog, I think he said 15 minutes, something like that. I mean, it doesn't take long, apparently.
Well,
but
unless your dogs are dirt like ours, it might take a little bit longer.
Our dog would just keep pushing the button. Treat. I want my treat. And then just,
And that was another thing, too. The genius behind creating this, there's no cords.
Yeah.
Because he's right. Roxy would figure it out right away. Oh, this thing releases food.
Cats would figure it out,
Where's
too.
the cord?
Can you imagine Bagheera? Bagheera would be like, food.
Yeah, the cord's gone.
Oh, everything would be gone. Yeah,
Like
they've got a
I
chance.
can still talk about this thing all day. I enjoyed the interview. I enjoyed the amount of knowledge that Joe had to share.
Yeah, he brought a lot to the table.
And a product that is worth standing behind.
Right. We give it a 5 out of 5, which is not really always common. We've had a couple ones. Not saying which one it is. But, no, great job. And really, honestly, folks, look at the show description. You'll have links and everything more on PetChatz. Or just go to their website and, go through what they have. I mean, it is really worth it.
Find the one that works for you.
Yep. And I like the bundle. I love the fact that you can bundle. Because, man, you save money that way.
And then you can renew the treats.
Yep, the subscription.
Every so many months. You get the subscription to treats, and it just comes to your house. And, awesome.
Everything's so much easier that way.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, by that sound, Claire has turned on the applause sign, and that means it's time to get out of here. But, gosh, we got so much still to do.
Yep.
So, anyways, I'm Chris Green. Have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green. Make sure everybody realizes life is so short. Play with your pet.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go in my bedtime. Wait, you forgot about me. And now a moment with Claire.
All right, Claire, you just got done with your second game of your basketball season. Tell me all about it.
Okay, when it was the first quarter, it was it was not good.
Right. Why?
Because people on our team, they keep passing it to the blue team.
They were passing it to the other team. That's correct. They weren't passing to each other. They were throwing the ball. The passes were pretty bad. You're right.
Yeah.
And you had to sit out the first quarter because every kid sits out at least one quarter.
Yep.
So you were out the first quarter.
I didn't want to be in the first quarter. I wanted to be out the middle quarter.
Yeah, the middle quarter would have been, excuse me, the middle quarter would have been a lot better, but, you know, I could understand why the coach put you on the bench, but, you know, give or take, I mean, it was just what it was. So, you took your first penalty, so you actually had a free throw.
2 free throws, actually.
Right, you had a free throw, which had 2 shots. You scored 1, which was awesome. I mean, that was really cool. You were better than Shaquille O'Neal.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a reference, it won't get it. Alright, so what else happened during the game?
Okay, in the last quarter, it was kind of good. People keep shooting, and then people keep getting the ball, but they keep missing. And when I was out there, I got the ball when I was on the other side, and I got the ball when it missed.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I loved how you played today. I mean, you started to really show something that I haven't seen from you because you've been playing soccer. I mean, I know how you play in soccer, but I watched you play basketball for the first time in a whole different way, and it was really cool. Mm-hmm. And you went underneath the net. You were right there picking up rebounds. You had a lot of rebounds.
I had 10 rebounds.
At least. You might have had more. You were really good about that. So what else is
Kind of
going on?
around 15.
Yeah, you were doing really well with that. So, anything else you want to add to the game?
Okay.
Anything else? Yeah?
When me and I can remember number 14.
Yep, number 14. Give her her name.
Hannah.
There you go.
Hannah and I were passing to each other, and then Hannah got a goal, and then a
Well,
shot.
she didn't get a goal because this is basketball.
She got a shot.
She actually scored. You know, she sunk her shot, which was really amazing.
And then she got a goal for us.
No, she scored 2 points when she sank her shot. She got 2 points.
Yeah.
You guys unfortunately lost your second game in basketball. I know.
3-21.
Yeah, it was a rough one. That was rough.
Terrible.
It was pretty bad. Anything else you want to add to this game?
Oh yeah.
Tell me.
On the scoreboard, even though it doesn't give us 2 points, it gave us 2 points, so we got.
Well, you scored 1 with the free throw.
The free throw, yeah. So then they add 1 point, not 2.
Right.
So then we got to 3.
Right.
And that's how we got 3.
I can't believe that really you're the only one who scores. Hannah got on the board once, and last game you had all the points. I'm kind of lost. We got to work with this. I got to work with your coach.
Yeah. And you also have to be the coach.
No, I'm not going to coach.
Why not?
Nope. All right, well, say goodbye.
Goodbye. And this was A Moment with Claire.